and I welcome you to Ablade TV. It's a new initiative that we've created for the Ablade group, and this is to broadcast mainly issues centered on Gadangbe's in English, and it will be educating you, entertaining you, and informing you. On today's edition, and it happens to be our very first major one-on-one interview on this English channel. So please, if you haven't subscribed, take time to do so, and also click on the bell button so that you are able to get regular updates. If you've already subscribed, then we say that thank you very much. On today's edition, I'm coming your way from the Osabu Ayiku Temple in Teshie. This special place is occupied by the Osabu Ayiku Wulomo. He is the high priest of the Teshie people. So we will be engaging his kinsmen shortly. He's right here later in the program. You will be hearing him briefly in the Ga dialect. He's the custodian of the heritage and culture of Teshie, and by extension of the Gadangbe people. So as they're about to start their annual Homowo festival, we are here to be educated. What are we expected to know, or what should we expect? We've been hearing about a ban on drumming and noise making. What's the significance, and also the need for you to partake in the observance and other related activities? Without much ado, let me get to the chief of staff here at the Osabu Ayiku Temple, Ni Noti, to then start the conversation. Hello, Ni, and your elders. Welcome to Ablade TV English.
Thank you, and hi.
Today you are beginning your annual Homowo festival. We know that a lot of activities will be happening. Please take us through.
I welcome everyone to the shrine of the Osabu Ayiku deity, which is occupied by Numo Badu Udano Odiapense the First, the Osabu Ayiku Wulomo, and the spiritual overlord of the Teshie traditional area. In this vein, like you rightly said, today marks the beginning, the very first rites which precede the Homowo festivities of the people of Teshie. In fact, as we all know, the Gans came in family groups and we settle as such. In view of that, each family or each community has its own way and when to start its Homowo activities. So we, the people of Teshie traditional area, today marks the beginning of all activities that precedes and welcomes in the Homowo festivities. So our spiritual leader, who happens to be Numo Badu Udano Diapense the First, the Osabu Ayiku Wulomo, and his elders are the leaders for performing of this rite. So like you rightly said, or you've seen since morning, that is what has been happening. A lot has happened, led by Numo Badu Udano Odiapense the First.
So we will be continuing the conversation, but as today marks the beginning, and as the chief of staff rightly mentioned, a number of activities or rites are underway. So we will come back, but I'll leave the scene so we observe some of these rites briefly. And as you observe, then Ni Noti will be explaining what you are witnessing to us, so you don't miss out.
Like you rightly asked about me walking you through the activities going on. In fact, it started at dawn, which is very sacred, so I'm not going to talk about. Around 6 a.m., the high priest, in the person of Numo Badu Udano Odiapense, have to go to the ark room. Like the Israelites had an ark. They have a room where they kept the ark. So in Ghana, we call it Bachun. The Numo have to go there. There's a lot to be done there, because that is where the face of God dwells. So even going there, he has a way to bath, purify himself before going there. He has to do some sacrifices with animals. He did, as you can see on the floor, you can see chickens. We are going to use it to prepare the food for both the spirit and then the living or the physical. Yes, so that is what you can see. So as you can see, and the food is prepared sacredly during the preparation. For instance, the meat that we are going to use, it is only males who are going to handle it. So, and we have a special way of cutting it. We don't just cut it, because when you read the Bible, it tells where certain meats or certain parts should be put in. So that is exactly what we do. We have a way of cutting and a way of placing it on the altar. Yes. So from there, you can see the people who prepare the food are from Koja Mansawe. Even people from this house don't prepare the food. Not the Ulomo himself. He can only supervise. Yes, but the people from Koja Mansawe, they will prepare the food. We have a way of preparing the food too. We don't add salt. There are certain things we don't add initially till we take that of the spirits and then serve it to them. Before what we, the living, are going to eat, we can add a little salt. Yes. And then...
Why is that so? The deceased or the ancestors don't like salt and others?
What it is like I said, this is not an ordinary food. It's a sacred food. Okay. So it is prepared sacredly. It has a line it has to follow. For instance, I can't measure the quantity of salt you will like. So are the spirits. I can't manage the quantity to measure it for them. So if there is no salt, they can choose to add. You see, yes, there are some parts we use other things in addition to prepare it, to make it sacred for both the spirit and the living to consume. After eating, as you can see, we don't sweep. The leftover, whatever is left, we will not take it out of this house. We have some of the family houses outside, some of the quarters. We have to serve some of the foods, and with a special part of the chicken too, based on the quarter we are serving and what we are going to give the quarter. So we do that, we serve the quarters. Apart from that, when we finish eating, both the spirits and the beings, we don't sweep the food today. It's going to be, as you are saying it, till tomorrow. Then we believe whoever is traveling from, either by air, by road, by foot, could have gotten here to also partake in it before we can take the leftover out. Yes. And when you study Christ very well, when he went to the wilderness to preach the gospel, after preaching the gospel, he fed the people. Even though he had very few bread and some 2-3 fishes, he prayed over it and he used it to feed the people. So that is exactly what you see. Not that we intentionally prepared the food. The number of people, we had over 140 people here. And we just prepared. So you can see the bowls there. Very small food. But there is no way we could eat it and finish it, because it has some spirituality in it. Yes. So that is it.
All right. So what's the significance of today, beyond the fact that it marks the beginning of the Homowo Festival?
Yeah, today's activity is very, very, very significant. Like you said, I can't imagine you having your own wedding without a bath on the day, before wearing your white shirt to get your jacket or your suit on. So that is what we've done. We've purified both the spirits, we the living beings, we that are working around it, and then the entire community or the entire Teshie traditional area. Okay. We've purified the whole town. Okay. Yes, to precede the Homowo activities. Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much, Ni. Yes, they are unique ceremonies or rites, and the Ga people are described as highly religious. So as we sit here, if you may want to relate the religion of the Ga people to that of Christians, then yes, Numo Badu Odano Dia Pense, the first is the high priest of the Teshie people. We have our priestesses right here. When you go to the Church of Pentecost, you may call them the deaconesses, but their role is indeed unique and may even go a step further than what we see in the Church of Pentecost. We have the deacons and all others here. So, as our dear viewers are observing the rites, kindly explain exactly what they are witnessing to them so they appreciate the culture better.
Okay, to start with, like you rightly said, the priestesses, like you described them as the deaconesses, they go beyond the deaconesses. They are the prophetess and the chief priest. When we are to take it into the Christendom, is the high priest, like we had once upon a time, high priest Samuel, and then his predecessor Eli. That is how they are. So with the high priest, they are kings, they are judges, and they are spiritual leaders. Yes, so like you said, I should take us through the program. What we are doing today is called Bloya Heju. Heju literally in Ga means bathing, and we know bathing goes with purification. Anytime you bath, you purify your body. So what we are doing basically is we are purifying the whole town. Since last year when we finished our Homowo, a lot of things has gone on, and these high priests are people who don't deal with carcasses or dead things. There has been a lot of funerals, there has been a lot of accidents, and so on and so forth. Even banter, friendly banter, and so on.
Conflicts,
everything.
bad ways.
Exactly. So for us to usher in the new year, we don't wish and pray to see all those things in the new year. So the chief priest, who is the spiritual leader, who happens to be the person of Numo Badu Odano Dia Pense the first, has to purify the whole town through the deities that we have. When you read the scriptures, it's described the Israelites, the way they should build the ark of God. It has its size and things that it has to contain. So all those things are in that the chief priest has to purify all those things to usher in the new year. And like I said, this is the first of all the activities to start the Homowo activities.
Okay. So does this essentially also mean that there is a ban on drumming and noise making as we've witnessed elsewhere, or yours is yet to take its turn?
Yes, there are other activities that will continue before we will get to the ban on drumming and noise making. Okay. For instance, as we've moved from here, within 3 to 4 weeks, we'll be having what we call the Abelekun. That is introducing maize to the shrine. From there, we will move to what we call Yelegbamo, introducing fresh yam to the shrine. And then from there, we'll go to the activity we call Inshona Wajin Jamo. Then from there, we'll go to Inshobulemo. Then from there, before we go to what we call Beminla, that is placing actual or total ban on drumming and noise making. No. Yes, which will also follow in the near future.
Okay. Thank you very much, Noti, and they have provided me with the calendar right here. So I will briefly take you through the program lineup, and later I'll get back to him. A lot of activities or rites are happening, so he sure will explain to us the rest of the things that you are witnessing, being led by Numo Badu Odano Dia Pense the first and his priestesses and priests. So here I have Teshie Sabua Ikugulomo, Numo Badu Odano Dia Pense the first, head of family of Chiewe and Klemusun Kota. The 2022 annual Homowo Festival celebrations of the chiefs and people of Teshie traditional area. So we have the Blow Ahiju, Sunday, 22nd May 2022, which we are witnessing now. And apart from the Blow Ahiju, then we have the Abelekun, indeed. Ni Note mentioned the Abelekun. And here I see Klemusun Krobo Leshin. After which we have Yelegbamo. And then we have Inshona Wajin Ajamo, which will be happening 2nd August 2022 by Yelegbamo, which will precede the Inshona Wajin Jamo will be held on 24th July 2022. Please be marking the dates because we will be right back to then observe or cover them for your viewing pleasure and also to get educated. And the fifth item after the Inshona Wajin Jamo is Inshobulemo to happen on Wednesday, 3rd August 2022. Then the sixth item is Inshobulemo Plekemo, Thursday, 4th August 2022. Then the seventh is the ban on drumming and noise making. That's Gbemlin La, Monday, 8th August 2022. Then Manse B Ashia Ba, that's homecoming for natives of Teshie staying elsewhere beyond the township. So that activities, that's the homecoming, is taking place Monday, 22nd August 2022. And I'm sure by now they are all preparing. Those in rural Teshie, by now I'm sure are preparing to harvest and to bring some home. And those living abroad are also preparing to board flights to come back home. We have Pokpo Yeli feasting and then Ngwala day after the feast. I'm sure that later Noti will explain some of these in briefs for us. But the feasting takes place on Tuesday, 23rd August 2022. That's for the feasting. And Ngwala, Wednesday, 24th August 2022. And then we have Sisajin Anihamo, Friday, 26th August 2022. Harvest football match, Saturday, 27th August 2022. Then Pafa, Sunday, 28th August 2022. Pafa is a sight worth to behold. And then Chesebumo same, also one that you can't afford to miss. But here I see Sisajin Anihamo, and Sisajin in Ga means ghost or spirit. So are you going to talk to ghosts? Are you going to engage ghost or spirits? What goes into this? I'm curious.
Yeah, I will tell you. In fact, when you study spirituality, you have three ways of worshiping. One is worshiping through the ancestral spirit. One is what the Christians do, worshiping through the Holy Spirit, as they call it. And then the third one is worshiping through an item. Yeah, so what we do is we believe in the ancestral spirit. Like when you read the Bible, it makes a categorical statement that, and ye shall worship the God of your fathers. Yes. And, you know, when you go to Israel, there are certain books in the Bible they don't joke with. For instance, the book of Isaiah. Isaiah is dead and gone, but his words are very powerful. So we believe in the ancestral spirit. So we believe that as we feast, they must also feast. Yes, like the Christians do. You go to church, you take offering, and it says the offerings and tithes are meant for God. You see, yes. So the food that we eat, we reserve some which are also meant for our ancestral spirit. For instance, the real custodian, the introductor of this very shrine, Numochie of blessed memory, about 300 years ago, I believe his spirit still lives here with me. So whenever there's the festival and we feast, we feed them too. We have a way of preparing a special food for them. I wish this year will be here to cover it for us.
We will sure be here. Yes. So viewers should remain keen on watching Abladi TV English.
And like I rightly said, we will be feeding them, and we believe every room in Teshie now has had one person or the other lived in and had died. So we have a way of preparing a plate for them. We put their food, their soup or stew by it, and then water for them to drink. Yes, so we place it at every doorstep, the whole town. That is what we do.
Can we conveniently say that it's idol worshipping?
Why is it that anytime you want to go the way our ancestors go, we want to equate it to idol worship? It's a worship, but not an idol worship. It is the worship of God. Like I said, when you read the Bible, it gives categorical statements. The priests of old, like Eli, like Samuel, they don't eat overnight food. They don't eat fermented food or food with yeast. That is what our Wolomans do. Go read and check how the Bible describes Eli and Samuel and Elijah and so on, how they should dress. They were walking barefooted. They were carrying staffs in their hands. Moses, Aaron, and so on and so forth. So that is what we do. Like I told you earlier, we believe in the ancestral spirit. You see, when you read even the New Testament, once upon a time, Jesus went to the mountains to pray. And when he prayed, his disciples said, they saw other two images by Jesus Christ. One looks like Elijah and the other looks like Moses. Meaning that Jesus went to do what we call Sisachemo in Ghana, the ancestral spirit calling. He went and did consultation because it was Moses who first spoke about the cross. And Jesus was going to have an encounter with the cross. And it was Elijah who spoke about the staff. You see, so people shouldn't equate our spirituality to idol worship. Gans, we are spiritual because we believe, and it has been established, that we are the descendants of the Gad family of Israel. So that is what we are. We are not idol worshippers, but we are spiritual and God worshippers.
Okay. Thank you very much. So quickly, before we wrap up, what are the remaining activities that we are seeing now today?
Fine, where we've got into for today's activities, in fact, traditionally, anything the Osabu Aikuglomo does, since he's the spiritual head, we don't punctuate it with a full stop on the same day. The reason being that, like I said, even physically, some of our people are far and near. For instance, I was very near. I got here around 3 a.m. Some of our siblings got here around 10 a.m. Some came around 12. Some are still coming. So we believe are the spirits. Some might be coming from Israel, our ancestral home. Some might be coming from wherever you might mention or think of, to also come and feed. And like you do, you know, when your grandmom Niseko prepares people, you invite friends to go and feed. So that is what the spirits also do. You see? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's your message to the people of Teshie and viewers of Abladi TV English watching you now?
First of all, I would thank and appreciate the chiefs and people of Teshie traditional area, especially Numo Badu Odano Odia Pense, the first, the Osabu Aiku Wulomo. In fact, on the surface, you think Wulomoship is an easy thing. Myself, I have taken it so till my engineer brother was installed the Osabu Aiku Wulomo. Then I got to know the Wulomoship entails a lot. You fast unceremoniously. For instance, what we are witnessing today, the old man has to go through a lot for us to get here. As a young man occupying such a throne, sometimes for a month, you have to deprive your wife for you to be able to occupy the seat. You see, so in fact, I appreciate and thank him so much for availing himself for God and country and then the community to use him as such. Okay. Also, I would like to thank our family head of Ajesankuma Odano family, who happens to be Ni Doku Sowadin. He has been of tremendous support and, in fact, a stamp behind Numo Badu Odano, calling him day, calling him night, advising him, using his old age and wisdom to manage the office. In fact, he is here with us. Also, the priestesses, there are people who have voluntarily put their life on the line for all these things to happen. Just to mention a few, Awon Osama, Awon Aiku, Awon Clay, and so on and so forth. They've been there for Numo Badu Odano, Odia Pense the first. Also, the people of Teshie have been very supportive. In fact, about 2 hours ago, at the time we got even afraid of the numbers that were coming. You know, we had a very big downpour yesterday night. People came through it to support and help for all the activities to go on. So we thank and appreciate everybody, especially the biggest of all the thanks go to our God Almighty. I would prefer to call him Yahweh. the god the Gans call Atananyumo, the he and she god, the seven spirits god. Yes, that has been so merciful to all of us and has rained very good water onto our fruits that is going to yield for us to have some for our Homowo 2022. We also like to appreciate the elders of the Chewe family. In fact, it is the 3 gates that makes the Chewe family that occupies this place. So I would like to thank the head of family of Ajisankuma Oda Anowe. And then also thank the head of family for Oshekenyewi. Then also thank the head of family for Notekuma Plamatano Wi. And then also appreciate one of my fathers, who happens to be a direct grandson of the deceased Ulomo. That is Numo Mama Samia the First. Numo Mama Samia the First. Numo Ulomo Mama Samia the First. In fact, he was Osabu and Aiku Ulomo till 1966 when he left to the ancestral world, and his biological grandson, who happens to be Ni Ajekwe Gan, is here with us, and in fact he has rendered a tremendous support to the whole thing. We appreciate everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Ninoti Noti, and he is the chief of staff here at the Osabu Ayiku Shrine. You may even think or choose to call it temple. And on this note, we end today's edition of our interaction on Abladi TV English. Please remember to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe and then click on the bell button so that you become the first to then get an update on our latest uploads, to watch and then know more about the Gadangbe culture and heritage. We as well do upload issues of national importance, of politics, of social and developmental issues. So you have everything at one place, your one-stop shop. So please continue to watch Abladi TV. My name is Gabriel. Ni obodai atupra atunam togbo ashon kwa no. And I have done this together with Rosemary Koko Anyigba and Joshua Taria Adom. Thanks for watching. Yo be Abladi abi bi ejinu wo ken menani fi mo fe ken wa wonda bo shake okewo eyebe wole ake be pie nyete ameko menye ba asmoni ni bi ni wo fi oye wo ganwe mo na emli nyenu ye blofo emli wo wogbele channel le egbeni ni achole Abladi TV English wonye file nye bo amode nko ni nya ya ageme ho ko nya subscriber ni nya like bona afini ni bi fi mo nekeni yo fel ni ko gan ya lo gana mamunfe ni nyenu hyi ho odjogba ye brofo yue momli bemli ni won kase gan ke e woni bi fe be wonu ni bi anhyi ho ye brofo emli. So basically I made an appeal calling on you, our dear subscribers, those of you who are so eager to learn more about the Ghana culture and heritage, and also to get updated on major happenings in Ghana, to log on and then search for Abladi TV English. We've listened to your plea and we've created yet another channel called Abladi TV English. So please subscribe so that you get updated on our content in the English language. Yefenye radon ake yekewaye bi ne mi ni oboda itogbo ashon ne nke Rosemary Koko Anyigba ke Shieche Joshua Taria Adom ni woke menani fie mo eba Ogbenu, Tra no Manyaba.